You put a limit on photocopying? Okay, I'll print. I am a teacher. The school I work for put a limit on the amount of photocopying we can do over the year. The number is not necessarily low, but if you do a written test every month, as you're expected to, you will quickly run out of your photocopying capacity. The reason for this is to avoid unnecessary waste. While I agree with the eco-friendliness of this rule, I find it stupid that I have to limit myself with paper while a lot of paper is wasted on unnecessary stuff. Also, all the meeting are in presence again, and this is very hypocritical if you claim to be green. Anyway, I found out that only photocopies get counted, not printed documents. So every time I have to do a test, I print it instead of just printing a copy and then photocopying it. I don't know if this is malicious compliance, but I wanted to share. Edit. Spelling. Ha. Reminds me of college, where printing papers in the library computer lab cost 7 cents per page. But printing website resources from particular library kiosk computers was free. So I wrote my papers in HTML, back in the days of Netscape 2.0, using a text editor. Put them on a floppy, put the disk in one of those kiosks, pointed the web browser at the local drive, and printed the paper for free. Congratulations, thumbs up, cool, thumbs up. On the point about the costs, it's the same. As most of the machines in use in offices are now printer, scanner, copy combinations, there is no difference to print or copy a paper. The bean counter in the head office have clearly not understand that. You may be careful to not point out this fact, as they certainly will close the loophole. It comes out nicer too, if it's printed, not copied. I used to be a teacher. Admin put a limit on our copies, too. They then said that because of the contract they had with a copier company, we were consolidating our printing capabilities. Everything would be networked, and we would no longer be able to use individual printers. Then they took all of our printers away. I guess if you have your own printer, you'll be okay. But you'll also end up having to spend your own money. Oh, the joys of public education. Face with rolling eyes. It's awesome if the printer can staple for you too. My high school was too poor to buy enough copies of textbooks for all students. So they just bought one book and teachers would make copies for students. Teachers then ran out of their photocopy budgets. So in the end, class was straight up just dictation from the text instead. Quality learning. Haha. That reminds me of this time I worked in a law office that had 2 separate firms, and the manager of the other firm controlled the copier. They got mad at us and put a passcode on the copier so we couldn't make copies anymore. But they couldn't stop us from printing. I printed so very many things, and the look on her face was priceless. Do you hit print with malice in your heart? And if you have a ready document, just scan it, then print that. No photocopy, no problem, laughing face. Just don't tell anyone else, otherwise word will get out and they'll cap the printing too. Why would you ever print one and then copy it? Printing the number you need is just easier. Hit print. And by the time you walk to the printer, they are done instead of having to pick up one copy, move to the dock, feeder and wait for the rest. It's more expensive to print and copy than most people think. I've worked more than 20 years as a printer tech. Mid-range copiers can cost $10,000 and up. A simple Ricoh multi-function machine can cost a business $7,000. Plus toner at $300, $400 a pop. Plus repair costs that alone can run into thousands of dollars a year. Meanwhile, I can't count how many printers I've had to repair and replace that were damaged, overused, neglected. Next time anyone in admin mentions paper printing costs, submit a request for multiple new class set of iPads or laptops for thousands of dollars so that you can run online tests to keep paper printing costs down. I guarantee the paper cost is peanuts in comparison. Not sure why you would copy something like that when printing. I just hit print 42 copies or whatever number is required, and the printer does that number of copies even if it is multiple pages both-sided. Some will collate and staple if they are higher-end printers like those found in schools. So go around not bright management and their BS decrees. Do what you need to do. Yep, figured out that one too. No more paying for ink and paper at home. I'd only do this for some of your tests. If your copy numbers are too low, some other bean counter will notice, and they'll close your loophole. I had an in-house client for a printout and they were complaining about costs. I told them they could save money by going double-sided and even two up if necessary. They told me to leave it as is and they would just use a copier to make the needed copies. I said that didn't make sense because copying costs were more per page than printing. I figured out they were planning on using another department's photocopier to avoid paying for it. I put the kibosh on that by telling them I would inform the other department why their photocopy costs went up so dramatically. Two-sided it is. I did something like this in college. I was a 25-year-old freshman and has been working as an Apple technician for years. Which is why I never went to college. When I was in orientation they were going over logins and rules and stuff, and this guy who worked there saw my Mac laptop and told me some Mac-specific things with the network and printing etc. After chatting a bit he offered me a job, which I declined as I already had one. But anyway, he showed me that instead of paying per print on my card I could grab the IP of a printer and print directly. This is what I did if I didn't print at home. One class a few semesters later we had the need to print something and the other people in my group were deciding who would pay for it, so I just said no worry. We will do it for free, and then I printed directly by IP. They were floored. Word got around and next time we needed to print I just printed everyone's stuff from flash drives. This would happen in class after class. People would tell the professor they could email the paper but had no money on their card to print with, so I would ask for the file and print it during class for them. It is insane that paying $10,000 a semester doesn't include the cost of printing your assignments. I left there with over $40,000 in debt and it was the biggest ripoff of my life. I used to manage K-12 school networks. We had some networkable copiers that could work as printers. There was a charge for photocopying, but not for printing. We did a cost analysis and found out that after 1 year, in only one building, by having users print instead of copy, we saved like $85,000. And this was like 15 years ago. So there was no save the environment component to the discussion. I bet it's the same in your school. It's not about going green. It's about cutting costs. Damn it, why do they make things harder for teachers? Teaching is so difficult as is.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.